All right, welcome back to the weekly webinar on Uber 101 and how to get started and get on our platform. All right, so I'm just going to get into this a little bit as far as how to get started with Uber, how to accept a request, and things of that nature. So if you can see the graph here, you'll basically be able to see three steps. You have a step one, a step two, and a step three. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your Uber Partner app. If you're able to open it up and you're able to go online, that means your account is active. And as soon as you're available, you'll be able to go on. So you open up the Partner app. When you see the map and your car on it, and like the car is turning, you're online and you're available to receive requests. When a request comes into your phone, it will start beeping. You'll be able to see what type of trip it is, where that person is located, and you get 15 seconds to accept that trip, and then you'll be able to actually pick them up and then drop them off to wherever they need to go. So, a lot of people may have questions about insurance and things of that nature. I'm going to get into that as far as what it is. You'll be able to ask me the questions afterwards, but hopefully I answer them before they even get started. You're protected under Uber's insurance policy. While driving on the Uber platform, we really got you covered. As expected, a trip, you're covered under Uber's 1.5 commercial insurance policy. So this graph down here, it'll basically show you how you're protected and when the protection kicks in. So it's 1.5 million of liability coverage per incident, 1.5 million of uninsured, underinsured motorists, 50,000 of contingent comprehension and collision insurance, and you'll be able to see this here. If you have any more questions or you want to see this graph a little bit closer, you'll be able to go to t.uber.com/insurance. I can definitely put that into the chat right here, and I'll be able to put that link down at the comment section. You'll be able to see that t.uber.com/insurance to wonder about the insurance policy and how it works. We do want you guys to have your own insurance as well, your personal insurance, because when you're not operating on Uber's platform, you'll be able to have your insurance and be covered under your insurance. Keeping track of your dashboard. This is easy. This basically gets into all your summary, your trips, your incentives, your profile, your invites. Basically, it'll probably answer all the questions that you do have prior to asking them. So your dashboard is easy to get into. It's going to be the same sign-in information that you have as far as to sign in on the app. So that username and that password will definitely be able to sign you into your dashboard. The dashboard is partners.uber.com. You can access that from your driver app. So if you're able to get to your driver app and you need some more questions to be answered, or you want to see your payment statement, or you want to add something to your profile, you can definitely do that through partners.uber.com. So we've got your back. A lot of people will say, hey, how safe is Uber? Am I going to be protected? Or I'm a woman. What are your views? How really safe is it? You're definitely safe. All right. Everything is what I want to say is protected. Nothing goes unseen is how I would like to explain it. Drivers rate the riders, all right? So you get to rate the person, you see their profile photo, or you see their name and who you're picking up prior to actually getting them into the vehicle. They get to see you. They get to see your name, your plate number, your car model before actually getting into the car. And we do that because we don't want any random pickups. With other services and taxi cab services, you'll be able to, you don't really know the person. So this, we try to make it more personable with knowing the person, or, like, hey, you know this person before they actually get in the vehicle, you know what they look like, you know their name, things of that nature. It's a cashless exchange, so you don't have to worry about, hey, I have, $100 on me, is somebody going to take it from me, or do I have to give, cash back to this person, or do I have to give money back to this person if the trip was, say, for instance, $20, and they gave me $40. You don't have to worry about that. It's a cashless exchange. So therefore, the fares are automatically calculated and within the Uber app. So all of that is null and void. You don't have to worry about it. Or Think about that in the long run. You can maximize your earnings. So it's different times of the day to drive. It's different places to drive, actually. So this graph right here basically gets into where you should drive, what time you should drive, in order to increase your earnings to get the most money that you could possibly get. So the peak earning times. A lot of people say, "Hey, what's the best time to drive? When I get the most money?" And you can look at this right here, this display. Monday through Wednesday, of course, rush hour, which is 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. That's because it's rush hour, right? People are going to and from work, so that will be busy. Thursday to Friday, 7 a.m. It's the same Thursday and Friday. Friday really kind of starts off the weekend, so it's a little extended to 3 a.m. People are out, people are drinking, so those surges and that money will be maximized for you. Saturday, of course, it's the weekend. It's like all day long for Saturday, Sunday as well. Um, so we demand drivers to we don't demand drivers, but we encourage our drivers to get on the road. Surprisingly, yeah, as it sounds, when the weather is raining, when it's cold out, people don't want to walk in the rain. People don't want to walk when it's cold out. So we're getting into that season where it's going to be a little brisk weather. So you definitely will maximize your earnings then. Different events. So the app does everything, and what it does, it allows you to see notifications of when something is going on and when to actually be on the road. So events such as concerts, sporting events, festivals, things of that nature, you'll definitely be able to maximize your earnings then. You have MetLife Stadium, which is in New Jersey. It's different venues that you'll be able to go and just sit around and say, hey, this is a hot spot right now because this event is going on. Holidays as well. Halloween, which just passed, which is basically, one of our most important holidays for Uber's standpoint, besides New Year's Eve, right? Just because we want to make sure people are getting to and from, we want to make sure they're safe, they have a reliable ride. So those holidays are definitely busy. Rush hour, late night, weekday rush, especially when the bars are closing. You want to be around those areas, those bar populated areas. Hoboken is a great bar populated area. I know Morristown is. If you live in a city where it is, I'm pretty sure that you would go ahead and you would get some, feedback and some rides from those areas. So when you look at the partner app, you'll be able to see the supply maps and surge pricing. Basically, that basically lets you know where it's surging, where the prices are a little higher in those areas. Once you're online, the map within the Uber Partner app will glow. So you'll see red, you'll see orange, you'll see yellow. Yellow is more of a moderate demand. Orange is more of a high demand. Red is where the surge pricing is, and where the surge where you'll get those. The surge zone, the number in the red zones indicates the surge multiplier in that zone. So on the left hand side, you'll see that it's 1.25. So that means that it's going to be 1.25 the normal fare, and you will see your earnings reflect that surge pricing. So some frequently asked questions. I like to get into this because this might answer your questions before you have to ask me the question. But if you do, you can definitely put it in the comment section. And then after this Q&A, I would definitely do some Q&A with you guys. If you have any other questions that I didn't touch base on, I'll be more than likely to do that for you. How long should I wait for a rider? You should wait at least 5 minutes for any rider. Just because if the ride does not show up after 5 minutes, in some areas, you'll be compensated $5 for waiting that 5 minutes. So it depends on some markets that you'll get that $5. I know in New Jersey, you'll definitely get the $5 for waiting 5 minutes or more for a rider and they do not show. So if you're still on the request and you have the request and it's like, hey, there is a button that says no show, all right, and there is a button where you can cancel the ride. What if there are multiple stops and rider changes the destination? So that happens all the time. Sometimes you pick up someone and hey, before they want to go home, they want to go to the supermarket or they want to go to the local store to pick up something. that happens. What you'll do is you'll allow them to go to wherever they need. It's totally fine. Your payment is going to be calculated based on the time and the distance. So if you're dropping them off and say, hey, they live, um, 3 blocks away from the store that they want to go to, just keep the app running because it does go off of time and distance. Once they get back into the car, you can then proceed with the trip. You will be compensated for that time and of that distance. So it happens. We have a new feature on the app where the riders can now add a stop into their trip. So their final destination is home, but they might want to go to the store or to drop something off to a friend or something of that nature. So you'll definitely be compensated for that. What if a rider makes a mess in my car? This happens, and it, people make mistakes, whether it be coughing in the morning or a very late night, and somebody, gets sick. You should take a picture of the mess and you should email it to us. You can also click on trip history. You can go into the trip and you can say, hey, I had a mess in my car. Click on the associated trip. You'll say, hey, I had an issue with the ride. Request a cleaning fee. Somebody will be able to get back to you within 48 hours, and they'll go ahead and they'll issue that cleaning fee. What if too many people get in my car? Sometimes it happens. You'll think you'll be picking up 1 or 2 people, and then you'll find out it's 3 or 4. So you'll politely explain that you can only fit as many people as there is seatbelts in your vehicle. You can encourage the group or however many people it is to request a second Uber, or they can go ahead and request an XL Uber. All right. So that leads me to this XL. I know you're probably like, hey, what's an XL? But I'll be able to explain the difference between UberX, XL, Black, and SUV. So depending on the type of car you have, you will be placed in a different product category, right? So UberX is the most basic model, okay? UberX is basically your 4-door sedan. And it seats up to 5 passengers. Pretty sure it has 3 seatbelts in the back and 2 in the front. Uber XL is anything that seats up to 7 passengers, all right, and it has about 7 plus seatbelts in the vehicle. So that normally has 2 rows in the back for Uber XL vehicles. Examples: Honda Pilots, things of that nature. Uber Black and Uber SUV are all commercial plated vehicles. All right. For our Black car service, it is a black-on-black vehicle of luxury that is 2011 and newer. It has OL plates, limousine plates, and that is where that commercial Uber Black, Uber SUV comes into play. How do I get paid? How much can I expect to earn? Your fare basically is calculated every trip. So the fare for every trip is calculated by Uber, and payments are made via direct deposit. All right, you get direct deposit every week, Wednesday or Thursday. It depends on your bank, but you know what you're getting before you actually get paid. Earnings depend on when and how much you drive. So if you're driving a lot and you're making a lot of money per day, you will see your direct deposit reflect that. Can I have my spouse or any other passenger in the vehicle? No, it's not something that we do because we want to make sure that when you go to pick up someone, that everybody can see comfortably in the vehicle. When riders request a trip, their expectation is that it's going to be just the driver in the car. So we don't recommend, a spouse or another passenger in the vehicle. If you have a passenger with you and the rider has the maximum number of passengers with them, then that would make things more confusing. They would probably have to cancel the trip, and we don't want to be an inconvenience to our riders. How do taxes work? Partners are independent contractors, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a 1099 at the end of the year. All right, you're responsible for filing and paying your own taxes. Uber does not give out tax advice, so we would just point you or locate you to your local accountant or your local H&R Block, TurboTax, things of that nature. Where can I drive? You could drive anywhere in the state of New Jersey. If you have a New Jersey account, if you're a New Jersey account holder, you'll be able to operate your vehicle anywhere in the state of New Jersey, picking up and dropping off. Anywhere in the state of Connecticut, picking up and dropping off in the city, but just the city of Philadelphia. So you won't be able to go to Allentown. You won't be able to go to Pittsburgh. Just the city of Philadelphia, you'll be able to pick up and to drop off. You cannot drive in New York City, all right, unless you are a commercial driver and you do obtain the TLC license and the TLC plates. That is the only way you'll be able to operate picking up and dropping off your car in New York City. Who pays for tolls? So initially you're going to pay for the toll, all right, but you will be reimbursed because the toll is calculated on every fare. So it's going to come out of the rider side, the rider's portion of the fare, but you will be reimbursed for whatever you paid for that toll. All right, if you drive through a toll, let's say if you have a New Jersey Easy Pass, the amount will automatically be charged to the rider. So therefore, you'll be credited for that when you get direct deposit. Do I have to log a minimum number of hours? As an independent contractor, you're basically your own boss, so you make your own hours. You work whenever you want to work, whatever is suitable and conducive for you. So when you want to earn money, just turn on the app, go online. There are no minimum hours, so we don't say, "Hey, Joe, Jane, get online, go online right now." Like you have to work. We don't do that. It's basically up to you. But we would like for you guys to take at least one trip every 30 days just to keep your account active, to keep things flowing in the realm of that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and answer you guys' questions. I know that you guys might have a lot. I see a few here, so I'm just going to scroll to the top of this comment section and try to answer them to the best of my ability. All right, can you reject a trip because you're not comfortable with the area? That's coming from Shayla Griffin. The thing is, if you want to reject a trip because you're not comfortable in the area, we just suggest that you just move out of the area and just continue. You can either go offline or you can continue to drive if you just remove yourself from out of the area. So, I mean, you're always able to cancel a trip, right? We don't take that away from you. So you can definitely cancel a trip, but if you're not comfortable in the area, then you might want to move yourself out of that area and then proceed to take trips. Can a person request for you to pick up? That is not something, it's really no telling that you're going to get that person once you get them once, because it works off of proximity and it's off of location. So wherever you are is the trip that you will receive. Now, say for instance, Dwayne, if you go out and friends or somebody you made a connection with, while taking them on Uber trips, and you go out to outside of their house or outside of their job, and they try to request you, 9 times out of 10, it's not. I don't think you will get it, but if it happens, then it just so happens it's the luck of the draw. So we don't like for prearranged trips. That is something that we don't like. We don't like for prearranged trips. So be mindful of that if you're going to start operating on this platform and, hey, you want to take, the same person over and over again. Yes, but you don't know the destination for delivery until you're already accepted to pick up. They should ask where they're going when they request a trip. Mary Vanson, I'm not sure if that's a question or if that's a question or if what you're trying to say there. But you don't know the destination of where they're going, all right? You know where you're picking them up from, but you do not know. Say, for instance, if it is not an area or if you're not familiar, we would like for you to take that person there, right? Hopefully you do drop them off, but we don't want you to cancel because of the area. Say, for instance, it is New York. You could just drop them off and then proceed to come back to Jersey and things of that nature. I'm not really sure what your question was, but hopefully I did touch on some of that, Mary. TC Keating, just don't accept it, or if you do cancel and click do not charge the rider. I wish there was a way to see where the rider is going. That is the most frustrating thing with Uber. No, there isn't a way to see where they're going just because we don't want to give them a bad experience, all right? It wouldn't be good for business if we knew where they were going and just based off where they're going, we do not want to take them, right? That's not really Uber of us. So that's the reason why we try to get from around that. Now there's ways you can get around that as well. You can always contact the rider prior to picking them up and saying, hey, where are you going today? I want to make sure I'll be able to drop you off. So there's ways around it, TC Keating, but we do not want you to go ahead and cancel any of those trips. All right. Does South Jersey, Atlantic County, and South have business? Yes, they do. South Jersey does have business. South Jersey is business. Um, they do get busy, especially Atlantic City. That it's very busy in Atlantic City because you have casinos, you have bars, you have restaurants. It's definitely busy. I'm sorry for the pausing. My internet is buffering. I apologize about that. Hi, Gus. Good to see you again. Can we talk about an issue of rider canceling during a ride? Rider gets in with two other riders, exit as his desk, but asks to be dropped off his passenger, but then he cancels if that is possible. That sounds like a lot going on there, but the thing is that you'll always be able to cancel. So will the rider be able to cancel. If you do not have, like I said, enough seatbelts, then you won't be able to take that person or those riders. Um, so I apologize about the buffering. I'm sorry about that. And hopefully, I answered your question, Gus. They're really breaking up. The feed is terrible. My internet must be slow. I'm buffering. Um, I'm sorry about the internet, guys. I apologize about that. Let's get back to the question. All right. So covered by I see that Gus and TC Keating. Thank you, Gus, for answering those questions. You're touching on bases that I can't right now. But you are covered by Uber's insurance, TC Keating. When you are on a trip and you have a ride in the vehicle, you're definitely covered by our insurance. All right. What is livery fee of 35.39%? Best team, I am not sure about that question. I do not know about the livery fee. Just because we're not commercial in New Jersey, that's more of a New York thing and New York TLC information. I do not know about the livery fee. Sorry about that. El Montro, police give you ticket up to 1,000 if pick up rider in Hoboken. Um, No. So the thing is that, say for instance, if you're by the path train station, they might give you a ticket, but I haven't seen anybody get a ticket there in a very long time. If you do receive a ticket, you can just come into our office, or you can send it through the app and said, "Hey, I received a citation," and we'll be able to take care of it there for you. All right. See Gus and TT. When I open the app, I do not see the surge pricing area. It did appear only when I set a destination and was waiting for a rider going near my destination. It doesn't show offline either. So you'll get notifications if it is surging. All right. So Gus, if it's surging in an area, you'll get notifications. But the thing about surging is that it's a demand. So it can be there 1 minute and then it can be gone the next minute. It depends on where you're driving. You should be able to see the heat map if the surge is available to you. So you'll see it on the app if it is available. It might be available in Hoboken, but might not be available in Jersey City. That is just how it works. It's a demand for it. What do they mean by destination rides don't count towards incentive? Which incentive? So Uber rolls out incentives. All right. So it have different incentives. They'll send you emails. They'll send you, let's say, for instance, text messages. Hey, be online at this time and receive a certain incentive. Incentive is basically like a bonus. It's basically money from the company for being online at a certain time. it's kind of like a task. They'll say, hey, complete 10 trips and receive an extra $100 on your paycheck or your pay stub. That's basically what the incentive is. So when you're doing set a destination, the incentives don't apply towards that. When you're setting a destination, it's basically you're setting it for two things. For one, you either want to go home, or for two, you either want to go to work. You want to go to an area where you want to work. So that's why those incentives don't apply to setting destinations. When I get a ride request, how will I know if it's Uber Pool? All right, Gus. So when you see the request, which is down here at the second graph, and you see the third picture, and you see where it says Uber X at the top of that request, that's how you would know if it's an Uber X or Uber Pool trip. All right, it'll say Uber Pool, Uber X, Uber XL. You'll be able to see it before you actually accept the request on the app. Hopefully that answered your questions. I could not find the link in the Uber app to notify riders that I'm on the way or arrived. Also, how do I find out where they will be waiting? You want to go to the destination that they put, the location that they put into the app. If they are not there, then when you accept the request, you will be able to call or contact that rider. We always give that to you guys. So you can call or contact them prior to getting there and letting them know, like, hey, I'm outside. I don't see you. I'm in whatever vehicle you're in with the plate number, whatever it is. You'll be able to do that in the app. I can go ahead and send you guys something in this chat room that'll definitely be helpful. Just give me 1 second to get that for it. While I get that, it's a suggestion to a problem. Is Uber saturated? Uber is not saturated. At least not in New Jersey, that I know of. We are not saturated. Can you make money in New Jersey? Yes, you can. After you pay Uber all the fees, how much do you make? You get 25%. All right. So the Uber fee is 25%, and you put that down there, best team. So it's 25. You come home with 75% of the fare. Uber takes 25% of the fare. It's definitely money to be made, but the money and the time you put into it is what you'll get out of it. Definitely. Hi, when in Hoboken, my app shuts off, thinking that I'm in New York. My pickup was near the Holland Tunnel. Will there be adjustments in the future? Yes, that's Sharon. That doesn't sound like it is too much of accuracy there, but it shouldn't be showing you in New York because technically you're in New Jersey. I don't see that being an issue. Sometimes when that happens, what you'll have to do is you'll have to just sign out of the app, get out of there, probably restart your phone, and then go back into the app so it shows the correct location. And I think I answered your questions, best team. The Uber fee is 25%. All right, that is what Uber is taking from the fare because they're providing the platform for you guys. So that's what they're doing. For some apparent reason, I'm not able to go online. All right, Monica. We will have to see why you're not able to go online. If you go scroll to the top of your links that I have posted, if you scroll to the top of this chat, you'll be able to see two links that I have put. Well, three. You can come here. I'll send it again to see why you're not able to go online. All right, because there might be something wrong with your profile. Help.uber.com. Okay. Mary Vanson. Can I find out when South Jersey is busy or where? I sit online for hours without a call and nowhere in an area showed a color indicating I could drive to a busy area. What was that a fluke? No, it depends on what time. What time are you going online? What time are you there? Where exactly where? Some areas are busy and others are not as busy. Not saying that you don't get trips there, but it's just not as busy. We send texts and we send emails saying, hey, this is a hot spot. Go online here. This is where you need to be. And that link I just sent, that newjersey.uber.com /green light hub location, It lets you know where the hotspots are. You can always find places. If in South Jersey, it's busy. You guys have a lot of bar areas. You have a lot of train stations. Therefore, if people are commuting back and forth, there's definitely business out there. It's basically one of those things you got to do your research. You got to find out when to go online. It might not be busy at 9 a.m. there, but here it is in North Jersey. It might just be different times. All right. Rashid Holloway. How do I set up my Easy Pass to my account? Okay. So, you're going to get an Easy Pass, all right? I know that they have a location in Newark on McCarter Highway. Or you can just easily go online to easypass.com. You can apply for one. But if you already have one, the GPS in the app knows when you're going through a toll, Rashid. All right? It knows. It calculates all of that. It calculates when you're going through a toll. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I just went through a toll. Am I going to get paid for it? The GPS calculates all of that. So you would definitely be reimbursed for that. All right? Let's see. Why does the tips not include it? We don't have an option for the tips via the app. So we don't have that option where you can put a tip or a rider can put a tip in the app. All right. But say for instance, if someone says, "Hey, the Naw Jersey." Say for instance, if someone does say, "Hey, you know what? You deserve this tip. Here you go." You can kindly accept the tip. All right. We're not saying that you can't. We just don't want for drivers to solicit tips. So that's the difference there. And hope maybe in the future they will incorporate giving tips on the app. But for right now, there is no tip on the app. Rashid Holloway, how do I set up my direct deposit? You should be receiving text messages and emails saying, "Hey, Rashid, you should set up your direct deposit." All we need from you is your routing number and your account number. Once you put that in, that money will go straight to that bank account, whatever you put in. That's all we need from you is a routing and an account number, but it's easy to set up. You can go to partners.uber.com. And you're going to sign into that link, Rashid, with your username and your password. You should be able to set up your account information, your direct deposit in that app. Rumor has it Uber is doing trial runs accepting cash. True or false? That is definitely a rumor. Kevin White. Haven't heard of that, and I'm pretty sure that's not gonna happen anytime soon. That we'll be accepting cash. No. Yeah, that's definitely false. Mocha 1654. Do the pool ride turn into regular ride if no more riders join? That is correct. I see as if you've been doing some research. But yes, that is correct. So if it is a pool trip and it comes to find out that you're only taking one person on that trip, yes, indeed, it would be an Uber X trip. How do you pick up in Westchester County? Westchester County is a different region. So they have commercial plates. They have everything is commercial for Westchester. So you can go to the site that I have. You can put in New York, and hopefully a Greenlight Hub will come up with a Westchester County information for that. I see no mention of chargebacks. What happens if a rider uses a stolen card or phone? Um, so the thing about it is that Uber is very high alert, all right, with certain things. So if it is a charge, if it is fraud, or say for instance they're using a stolen card, or you're still going to be paid out for whatever it is because you did the service, right? You picked them up, you dropped them off. You would definitely be paid out for that. All right. So that's nothing that you will have to worry about, Gus, just because Uber would definitely take care of it. Where's our office? You think you need to come here? The thing is, Monica, that link that I sent you, I'm going to post it one more time. There you go. That will let you know of different pop-up shops that we have and where my office is, and where you can definitely come to speak to any one of our representatives. Hopefully that helps you there. How can we transport a rider out of state? How far can we transport a rider? Is there a cutoff on driving radiuses? So the thing is that the trip can no longer, Frank, the trip can be no longer than 3 hours. So if you wanted to take the person to, let's say, upstate, right, and it was only an hour some change, or it was 2 hours, you can do that. We don't suggest taking people to Virginia or taking people to Boston or taking people, anywhere of a range that is 3 hours. So the trip would definitely time out and it would cancel after 3 hours. So that's basically our cutoff. Appreciate it. How can I get trips toll free just starting out cash? Some people, use cash, but it's not an easy transition for our riders, right? Nobody wants to, sit in a car in the cash lane, waiting to get through because you don't have an Easy Pass. Easy Pass is just an easier way of getting through tolls, right? And Easy Pass also, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but they offer discounted tolls. So when you're going to New York and you're taking the Holland Lincoln or the George Washington Bridge, they go ahead and they offer discounts. So it might be $15 in cash, but only $11.50 or $12 for an Easy Pass. It's definitely something that you do want to invest in. If this is how you're going to be making money, it takes money to make money. So we just want to invest in the Easy Pass. I know people are low on funds. Trust me, I do get that. But if it takes you to use cash prior to getting to your Easy Pass, that's no problem either. All right. In New Jersey, the only insurance company does cover for us is Farmers. In case I have another insurance company I'm involved in an accident, what Uber cover for exactly. All right, so I'm gonna put this link back in here, the New Jersey, and it'll let you know how we cover the insurance. You need your personal insurance anyway. Say for instance, if you weren't driving for Uber, you would still need that. But these links are in the top of my video here, in my chat room here. You can go to t.uber.com insurance, and it gets into our policies, our 1.5 million in our coverage, liability coverage, underinsured, uninsured. It lets you know all that information there. All right. How do we handle rides needing a car seat? So the thing is, Kevin, you don't want to take anybody who needs a car seat. All right. If they have a child, if they have a baby, they need to have their own car seat. We do not have Uber Family in New Jersey. Uber Family basically is where the drivers provide car seats, but you don't need one. All right. Here in New Jersey, whoever is getting in the vehicle should have a car seat. You do not want to take anybody's children or anybody who is riding with a child or riding with a baby and do not have a car seat. It is not something I recommend. Please go ahead and cancel that trip if you get it. So therefore, we don't have to deal with, the things to come of driving without a car seat. All right. That's not fair. If a rider missed his flight and asked me to drive him to Washington, D.C., the app should not time out. All right. So this is the thing, Gus. We want you to get paid for the time, right? And while you're driving, okay? We don't want you to go further out because when you think about it, if you're going to Washington, D.C., okay, and you're dropping this rider off, you're going through how many tolls? Let's say you're going about maybe 7 or 6 tolls, right? When you're coming back to New Jersey, if you live in New Jersey, those tolls, they would be on you, all right? You're not coming back with the rider. Why? You can't pick up a rider in Washington, D.C. So it's basically looking out for you in the long run because you still have to return from where you came from. So we don't want you coming back here and having to pay for the tolls. It's just different regions and different things that go into it. So we wouldn't want you to go out to Washington D.C. to drop off someone and then come back empty-handed and have to pay for those tolls by yourself. That wouldn't be fair to you. So we're looking out for you. We're looking out for you at that standpoint. All right. Personal insurance will cancel you if they found out you drive Uber. Kevin, yes, depending on the insurance you do have. All right. We do have farmers insurance. All right, which allows ride sharing programs. There are some ride sharing programs that are allowed on certain insurances. That is something that you would have to either go ahead and shop for, but I definitely know that we have farmers insurance. They offer quotes in our office every day from 11 to 4. We are located in Hoboken. That link that I sent you, which is here, will definitely be able to let you know. This link right here will definitely be able to let you know where we are located. You can come in and you can see one of our farmers agents. We definitely have farmers. All right. How many rides do I have to do so Uber can pay rental? Big Al Tucker. Big Al Tucker. Sorry. You'll have to do 75 trips, Tucker. 75 trips. 75 trips with a 90% acceptance rate for enterprise to then go ahead and pay for your rental. All right. Can you discuss blacklisting? I heard if you drive Uber and don't report it and they find out, they can blacklist you, letting other insurance companies know you are a risk. No, that isn't right. An insurance company cannot kick you off. All right. They cannot renew your policy, but they can't say no. We're kicking you off of the insurance. All right. When it comes around to renewing the policy, then they won't renew it. But we can get around that because we have certain insurance policies and certain insurance companies that allow ride sharing programs. Like I just told Kevin that we do have farmers insurance. They allow ride sharing programs. That's something to come into our office to see one of our agents. They will be able to help you and assist, get you a quote, and let you know what they offer. If you're going to be driving for Uber, my concern is insurance, and I do recommend getting on the platform or getting with an insurance company that allows ride sharing. If a trip takes more than 3 hours because of traffic, it can happen. Mocha, it can happen. If a trip is timed out, you can also you report it within the app and say, hey, the trip timed out. But it's not likely that you would be in traffic from here, from Jersey to New York, or from here to another destination for 3 hours straight. It's really not likely. But if it does happen, we'll be able to assist you further through the app, or we'll be able to assist you further in person at one of our local hubs. Please answer the question about livery fee. Best team. Livery fee is not in New Jersey, so I do not know about a livery fee. Livery fees are more for New York associated accounts, more of commercial accounts. Here in New Jersey, we don't deal with livery fees, so I don't know. I'm sorry, I do not know the answer to that question. My pay for this week has not shown up at my bank. I write several times, but no one responded to me yet. Where is my pay? All right, Rod, I'm sorry, but I'm not able to go physically into accounts. If you do need assistance, you can just find your local hub, and we'll be able to assist you there in person to see where exactly is your money. If you haven't emailed already, you can definitely email us, and you can definitely go to partners.uber.com as well as help.uber.com to see where your pay is. I'm not able to log in. I apologize about that. Hopefully I answered you guys' questions. I'd like for you guys to come out again if you still need some help getting on the road, or if you have already taken a few trips and you need more assistance with it. The links that I have provided here are very informative. Take some time to view those. Take some time to do some a little bit more research through those links to see what exactly, if I didn't answer your questions, how you can get them answered. I appreciate you guys once again. I'll definitely be answering more questions. We go from Gus, Hoboken to Atlantic City, or Hoboken to Montauk Point. Could more than 3 hours. Okay, thank you, Gus. I appreciate that. That is right. But like I said, it's not likely that it's going to time out on you all the time. All right, it's not likely that it will time out on you all the time. Okay. Hi, can I receive unemployment benefits while being with Uber? That's something that with Uber you're an individual sole proprietor. All right, so you're an individual contractor. Okay, Tamir. So that's something that you would want to ask unemployment. Um, we we really don't say hey yes or no because you're your own boss at the end of the day. That's the reason why you get a 1099 form. So whatever that is, you will want to consult with unemployment to see if you're able to even drive for Uber while being on unemployment. Frank, all right. Should drivers carry a pepper spray for self-defense? Um, you definitely can protect yourself, but we don't want you to be dangerous. We don't want you to feel like you have to be armed with a weapon or feel like you have to have some sort of protection. Like I said in the second slide of this webinar, that you guys are protected. All right, nothing goes unnoticed, nothing goes unseen. We see everything. We see the riders. We see the drivers, um, and you don't have like it's a cashless exchange. So you're not holding anything. You're not holding money for somebody to want to, try to take something from you. Um, but if you want to keep that in the trunk and say, for instance, that's fine. But we do not encourage weapons and we do not encourage um, dangerous things of that sort. So, no. What about rent a car with Uber? All right, so Uber has a program with Enterprise. You'll be able to rent a vehicle through Enterprise with Uber. The thing about that is that we would have to see your profile and give you some more information about renting the vehicle. All right, it comes out to be a fee every week, so it's about 200 and maybe 30 something dollars for that Enterprise vehicle every week. All right, we'll be able to assist you with that, and it's pretty easy to get a vehicle. All right, it's a 250 deposit, but we'll be able to assist you with that. What happens if I want to re-rate a rider? Um, the thing about that, Paula, is that you can't. All right. Once it's rated, it's done. I don't think that you can go back in and re-rate a rider. I can try checking that for you, and hopefully I have the answer to your question if you come back to this webinar next week. But you won't be able to re-rate a rider. Once the rating is submitted, then it is pretty much done. But if you have an issue with the rider, you can always go into the trip and say, hey, I had a serious issue with this rider or not so serious issue with the rider. You can definitely do that in the app. But as far as re-rating a rider, you won't be able to do that. Do you need your own insurance to drive in New Jersey or Connecticut? Yes, you need your own insurance to drive anywhere in the country. You would definitely need your personal insurance. So yes, you do. Why I can't contact Uber as easier as before? Um, we're easy to be contacted. The thing is that honestly, your questions and your issues can be solved without having to, do so much contact. I have posted these into our webinar here, Paula. You can definitely go to either one of these to be able to get your problems assisted. The best one for you, if it's anything, would be help.uber.com. Is it mandatory to rate a rider? I see that a few ladies never bother to rate me. Also, I picked up a lady with her child in the rain. If didn't take them, that would give me wrong rate. Um, it the thing is that you have to rate them before proceeding to the next app or proceeding to the next trip. So, in that standpoint, it is mandatory just to rate them. And the rider should be rating as well. It is mandatory. So, you're not able to get to proceed to request another trip or to proceed to actually get out of the app until or get back into the app to request unless their trip is rated. So it does have to be rated. All trips are rated. About record video where rider, is that okay? Do I get on trouble? Um, not. I'm not sure what you're asking there, El Mantra. About record video. Is this asking if you can have a video in the car to record trips? Um, that's basically some. You want to be protected, right? And you want to sometimes you want to go ahead and you want to have a video or surveillance. That is fine. You can do that. The thing about it is that you do have to let the riders know that you will be recording the trip. You have to get their consent to record the trip, or just let them know that hey, I'm going to be recording this trip, and you should be fine. Yeah, but you can't help a driver if he gets taxed by a rider. No problem, Paula. Do you need special insurance to drive for Uber in New Jersey or Connecticut? No, your basic insurance is fine. All right, your basic insurance is fine. It is not a mandatory for you guys to have a special or a rideshare insurance. And whether you want to have a rideshare insurance policy, that is totally up to you. If you do not, that is totally up to you. Basic insurance is fine as long as you are insured somehow, some way. But you definitely need insurance. Hopefully that answered your question. If riders have rated me, where do I see their ratings? Where do I see their comments about the ride? You'll be able to access that in your app, Gus. So when you go to your app and you see rewards, you'll be able to see how many trips you've taken, which ones were 5 stars, and the comments that the riders have left about you. You'll be able to access that in your application. It is available to you. What happens if a rider gives you a bad rate and it's not your fault because this lowers your rates? Um, it happens, all right, Paula. Just because you're not a robot, right? So, um, sometimes people give bad ratings. Most of the times they give great ratings. If you're providing exceptional service, there's no reason for them to rate you low. That's just one thing I've learned to realize. If you're pushing out all the stops, and you're doing everything you can to make this ride comfortable as possible, and you're helping them, then there's no reason why somebody should give you a low rating. They only give low ratings if it was deserved. So it happens that people give low ratings all the time. But if it does happen, we'll be able to get around that. All right. Nobody is a robot. Nobody's going to be 100% all the time. Nobody's going to you know, get them to the destination quick, fast, in a hurry without traffic all the time. So things happen. If I don't accept Uber requests, do I get in trouble or get blocked from driving for Uber? Um, no, the thing is that we look at acceptance rate though. So we manage those things. We look at acceptance rate. We look at what it is you're providing to the riders. So, say for instance, if you're not accepting any trip, at that point, it makes no sense to be online if you don't want to accept the trip, right? You might as well not even work if you do not want to accept it. So, but we manage these things, right? We want you to accept it just to increase your earnings. Does Farmers offer a ride sharing policy? If my insurance is with another company, and do I have to switch? Um, they do have ride sharing. As far as do they offer another policy, I think that you would have to switch. Um, that is don't I really don't know, but I think that you would have to switch. Like I said, in our Hoboken office here, we have we have farmers here, so you'll be able to come into the office and ask, as many questions as you need and get a quote. You know, what happens if your rates are low? If your rates are low, it happens. I've seen it plenty of times before when we'll deactivate the account because the rating is too low, just because we want them to go ahead and get the most exceptional service there is possible, right? So if your ratings are low, we'll take you off the platform. We'll send you to a quality course, and then we'll give you 100 trips to bring your rating back up. All right. It's easy for it to go down, but it's also easy to maintain it. All right. Hopefully, it doesn't go down that you have to take the quality course, Paula. But it happens. Like I said, you're not a robot. You're not going to be accurate all the time, and you can't please everybody. But if that does happen, we'll deactivate you, but we will also put you back on our platform. What is the dress attire when you drive? The dress attire is basically there is none, okay? But we do want you to be professional. We want you to look professional. It doesn't have to be a suit. Doesn't have to be a tie. Doesn't have to be a blazer. But we want you to be comfortable. We want you to be casual, and we want you to actually smell good. I've noticed that that's something that a lot of riders like. They like for their drivers to be smell good. All right, I see the questions are trickling down. I'm gonna answer a few. Hopefully, I touched on based on many of the questions that you had. If I haven't, I will try my best to answer them. Like I said, the links that I have posted in this webinar are very useful. They're very important. They answer most of the questions if I haven't answered them. We're going to answer this one from El Mantra. If Ryder don't rate me, is that a problem for me, my total rate? No, it doesn't affect you. So if they don't rate you, it doesn't go up and it doesn't go down. So it wouldn't affect you at all. All right. One rider starts smoking in my car, and I gently ask, "Please do not smoke. Please ask Ryder don't rate me." All right. So yeah, you did the right thing by telling them, not to smoke in your vehicle. All right. We want no smoking in vehicles. So if you told him that, then that is fine. If he he chose not to rate you, then that's really his loss, right? But it won't affect you if he didn't rate you at all. Your rating won't go up, and like I said, it will not go down. You drive as often as you like, best team. It's basically up to you. If you want to maximize your earnings, you're going to drive a lot. If it really doesn't matter, then you're not going to drive as much, right? But we would like for our drivers to maintain one trip per month, just one trip per month. So it's basically if you want to drive, you can drive whenever you want, how often you want. All right, that's up to you, best team. Hello, Micah. I'm new at Uber. Please explain how do I apply the incentive ID for the surge. Basically, your profile, you will qualify for certain incentives, all right? And then we'll roll out emails and text messages saying like, "Hey, Carl, you qualify for this incentive, or be online for that incentive." So that's just basically like bonuses coming from the company. As far as Surge is concerned, Surge is demand. So Surge is only there when it's a high demand for drivers. So you know, we don't send Surge out. That's something that just comes with what is the demand of the riders. I drop off a pack and rate them low. I drop off a passenger and rate them low, where they know that I'm the only one that just rated them low. No, Patrick. So the rider doesn't see that you rated them low. All right, they don't see that you rated them high either. So it's kind of discreet thing there that the riders don't know what you rate them. But as far as the driver's point, we like for our drivers to maintain a 4.5 or above. That is definitely a something that we like for them to maintain. If they rate me low, how do I avoid them? So the thing is, if they rate you low, okay, say for instance it was an extremely horrible, extremely bad experience, Gus and Patrick. Um, say for instance, the trip was it was horrible. They rate you a 1 star, and the rider rates you a 1 star. Basically, what's gonna happen is you guys won't be paired with each other again. So the rider will have to rate them 1 star. So will the driver have to rate them 1 star. If it is an extremely bad experience, you guys won't be uh, therefore paired ever again. You won't have to take that person ever again. Yeah, but the rider definitely doesn't know that you rated them low, Patrick. Hopefully that answered your question. Hopefully I answered you guys' questions. I appreciate you coming out to this webinar once again. Good to see same people again. Good to see some new folks again. Hopefully I did answer your questions. You can definitely go to those links that I have provided to encourage you to get on the road if you haven't already, and to encourage you to stay on the road if you have already. Um, it's a few more comments here. No problem. Anytime, anytime. It's good seeing you again, Gus. Anytime, Patrick. I appreciate you guys once again. Like I said, those links I provided are very informative, so make sure you go see those. Um, and it's been good. TGIF. Thank God. Have a good one, guys.